Welcome back to Optimize Health, where we're making easy, healthy, and delicious meals. Today we're doing another information video. This is probably going to be one of a series because it's a bigger topic again, but very pertinent, especially for the season we're in. We're going to go over some bigger and smaller aspects that we can combine into programs to help people lose weight, including appetite suppressants, as well as some metabolism boosters. So what I did was kind of go through these macroscopic actions that a lot of people already know about. I put them together. I realized there may be a few in here on my list that aren't as well known, and I'd be happy to walk people through those. Just let me know in a comment or make a request. And I also can do consultations one-on-one, and we'll include.
You should talk to your doctor, healthcare provider, or veterinarian to see if any of these recipes, suggestions, or contents of these videos are right for you. Nothing contained in these videos are intended to be taken as medical advice. Use at your own risk.
The link to how to reach me in order to pursue that if you're interested in getting a little more in depth in your own specific needs and how to maybe tailor things a little bit tighter to you. And so for this talk, I've split things up into that, bigger actions that are more well-known, but also some of these micro things that are going to be like consuming certain types of foods, spices, vitamins, supplements that can be found, in your grocery store, or maybe if you're using a supplement supplier online. So it's pretty within reach, and these aren't, drugs, but they're meant and intended to be used at the level and the amounts that you would normally in like consuming foods and with meals and things like of that nature. So they're a little less aggressive in that sense. For the macroscopic topics, I've listed things out like hydration, fiber, protein, and fat. These are sort of dietary and nutritional aspects that are pretty well known to help with appetite, satiety, basically, from that angle, as well as just boosting your body's function, being hydrated properly. There's some other nitty-gritty things I could get into in another talk, where things like fat, protein, and fiber can come into play, different angles, particularly, for example, with fiber, the types of fiber and the variety of fiber that we are able to consume, how our microbiome is going to be impacted, and then how that symbiotic relationship will be influencing our weight, weight loss, weight gain, our metabolism in general, however that can play out. Some other things that are obvious, like exercise. I'm not going to get into that much. And in another talk, I probably will address these other two components of fasting and sunlight exposure. Particularly, these two are key with circadian rhythm and how our body and the cells and different systems of our body, including the digestive system and how we're going to be metabolizing energy, are impacted by sunlight at the right times of day and by eating or not eating at the appropriate times of day. So to get into what I really wanted to talk more about today are these micro aspects, where I have a few foods, vitamins, and supplements, or spices rather, on this list. The spices I want to get into first. Cinnamon, this is one that's particularly good in the winter because it's a warming spice, similar to the others on the list, ginger and cayenne pepper. You may combine some of these in certain, like chai tea, for example, is an easy way to get something like this in your system. If you're eating certain baked goods, or even some of my recipes that I make, like with meat, I do use these sort of spices as well. And cinnamon can be good for controlling blood sugar and also appetite, as well as ginger. Ginger has also got compounds that can help as antioxidant and kind of fighting free radicals. It's also beneficial to be able to help the body digest a little more efficiently, and so that can help with your gut health and helping digestion, helping reduce things like bloat, and that's that can be a big thing with weight because if you're bloated and you can get inflammation from being bloated and then you stay bloated, and that's a bad combo for losing. Even if it's just water weight, it's still can be really tenacious. So that can be helpful there. Cayenne pepper is another one. With the cayenne, you really want to be careful at how much you're using. You really can have some side effects. It's not just unpleasant burning in the mouth, but it can kind of burn throughout the GI tract. And some people may use it in safer, lower quantities to help things move through the GI tract. It's sort of like a laxative effect. But cayenne pepper can help to actually boost metabolism and speed things up as far as metabolic rate. It may not be the biggest jump in metabolism, but it certainly can help. And also just having spicy foods, it can help with things not being bland or boring, and also discouraging us from eating too much because it's hot, and it's like I'm hungry, but I'm going to stop at a certain point because it burns. Some other things that are a little more gentle and a little more accessible, for most people, I would say, are tofu. It actually has a chemical component in the soy that's a genistein, and it is an appetite suppressant. Caffeine is another commonly used ingredient, and we know how that can help to boost our metabolism and also help us with workouts and kind of just getting everything that we need to get done. And then catechins are a really nice, more gentle appetite suppressant that we get in green tea. Apple cider vinegar is a good one for helping to control the absorption of glucose. So if we take this before or during a meal, even if you do like a little ginger and apple cider vinegar shot like I do, this can help with metabolizing things better, as well as lowering the rate that we absorb the glucose or sugars from our meal, which helps to keep our insulin level more even. And that is really critical. We can talk more in another time about how controlling insulin and keeping weight in control is critical. The other things to mention are vitamins. So vitamin C, it's an appetite suppressant and also an antioxidant. And some people like to combine things like ginger lemon. Ginger lemon apple cider vinegar would be a nice little boost. And then vitamin D as in dog and vitamin B as in boy, B complex. And these things are important. One, D as in dog being a more hormonal effect, and B as in boy being more directly giving your body the building blocks that it needs to support optimal metabolism and be able to burn as much energy as it can. And one last thing, which I think is a real nice little treat, is that dark chocolate is actually an appetite suppressant. And if you really want to be looking for like 80% and above, but if you're not really enjoying how it can be a bit bitter, if you have a little bit of coffee with your dark chocolate, it can help bring out the sweeter flavor, and maybe you can enjoy it a little bit more that way, and then have the synergistic effect with the caffeine and the dark chocolate. And dark chocolate also has a lot of benefit from polyphenols, which help the microbiome and help to kind of modify our gut and help us to benefit more metabolically as well. So I hope these are helpful, and I hope you guys will send me any comments or suggestions, any requests for other things we can go over here. And if you'd like, just reach out to me if you'd like to connect one-on-one. And hope you'll share this video with people you think it may help. Please subscribe and check us out next time.